Sleep as the brain's housekeeper. What science reveals about dreams. Imagine this. Every night while you're asleep, an invisible cleaning crew marches into your brain. They sweep out toxins, reorganize memories, and leave the place spotless, ready for another day of life. What if I told you that this is not a metaphor, but a reality? For centuries, dreams were thought of as mystical visions, prophetic symbols, or just random noise in the mind. But modern neuroscience is uncovering something far more fascinating. Sleep is the brain's night shift, and dreams may be the most mysterious part of this process. In this video, we're going to explore why your brain cleans itself while you sleep, what dreams actually do for your health and memory, and how science is beginning to unlock the hidden purpose of our nightly visions. By the end, you'll never look at a good night's sleep the same way again. Chapter 1. The Ancient Mystery of Dreams. For as long as humans have existed, we've wondered about dreams. Ancient Egyptians believed they were messages from the gods. The Greeks thought they could foretell the future. Freud, in the 20th century, claimed they were the royal road to the unconscious. But here's the problem. For most of human history, dreams were impossible to study. They were private, fleeting, and subjective. By the time you woke up, they dissolved like mist. It wasn't until the 1950s that scientists made a groundbreaking discovery. REM sleep. Rapid eye movement sleep. Researchers noticed that when subjects were dreaming, their eyes darted wildly under closed eyelids, their brain activity spiked, and their bodies became paralyzed. This was the first hint that dreaming wasn't just random noise. It was a structured, measurable state of the brain. But the real twist came decades later, when scientists realized dreams might not be about stories at all. They might be about maintenance. Chapter 2. The brain's nightly cleanup crew. Let's start with the housekeeping function of sleep. In 2012, researchers at the University of Rochester discovered something revolutionary: the glymphatic system. Think of it as the brain's sewage system. During the day, as your neurons fire and process information, they produce waste products, proteins like beta-amyloid and tau. If those names sound familiar, it's because they're strongly linked to Alzheimer's disease. Too much buildup, and the brain begins to malfunction. Here's the catch. Your brain doesn't have a traditional lymphatic system like the rest of your body. Instead, it uses cerebrospinal fluid, which flushes through neural tissue during deep sleep. The researchers found that when mice slept, their brain cells actually shrunk, creating wider channels for fluid to wash away toxins. It was like a dishwasher cycle for the brain. In other words, sleep is not just rest. It's detox. Without it, waste builds up, and your brain literally poisons itself. And dreams? They may be the status reports your mind generates while this cleanup is happening. Chapter 3. Memory, Emotions, and the Dream Factory. But cleaning is only half the story. The other big job of sleep and dreams is memory consolidation. Think of your brain as a massive hard drive. Each day you download terabytes of data. Conversations, faces, facts, emotions, TikToks, random thoughts. If you tried to store all of it raw, your system would crash. Sleep is when the brain sorts through this mountain of data. Important files go into long-term memory. Unnecessary clutter gets deleted. Emotional experiences are tagged and processed. That's why you can study for an exam, sleep, and then recall information better the next day. Or why a problem that seemed impossible yesterday suddenly feels clearer after sleeping on it. A famous study from Harvard showed that students who took a nap after learning something performed 20–30% better than those who stayed awake. The difference? Their brains had time to replay and strengthen new neural connections during dream sleep. But here's where it gets fascinating. Dreams aren't just storage, they're simulations. The brain replays events, but it also remixes them. A tiger from a documentary mixes with your childhood home. Your boss appears at your high school prom. It seems bizarre until you realize what's happening. Your brain is stress testing scenarios, running what-if drills, preparing you emotionally for the unexpected. It's like a nightly flight simulator for survival. Chapter 4. The Science of Emotional Processing. Have you ever gone to bed angry and woken up calm? Or cried yourself to sleep only to feel strangely lighter in the morning? That's not magic. That's your brain regulating emotions during dreams. Research by Dr. Matthew Walker, a leading sleep scientist, shows that REM sleep lowers levels of norepinephrine, a stress-related neurotransmitter. This creates a safe environment for the brain to reprocess painful memories without the sting. It's as if the brain says, let's replay that traumatic event, but this time without the panic. Over time, this dampens the emotional charge of negative memories, allowing you to heal. It may also explain why PTSD is often linked to disrupted sleep. Without REM, the brain can't finish its emotional housekeeping. So dreams are not just strange movies. They are therapy sessions, helping us cope, adapt, and grow. Chapter 5. The Weirdness of Dreams. Random or purposeful? Now let's address the question everyone asks. Why are dreams so weird? Flying elephants, teeth falling out, showing up to school naked. Surely that's not emotional regulation, right? Some scientists, like Alan Hobson, proposed the activation synthesis theory. Dreams are just the brain's attempt to make sense of random neural activity. In other words, they're nonsense. But newer research suggests the weirdness has a function. By mixing unrelated concepts, dreams encourage creativity. Many breakthroughs were dream-born. Dmitri Mendeleev envisioned the periodic table in a dream. Paul McCartney woke up with the melody of Yesterday in his head. Elias Howe invented the sewing machine after dreaming of cannibals with spears shaped like needles. In each case, the dream didn't hand over the solution directly. It recombined information in novel ways, allowing the mind to see old problems from new angles. So perhaps the weirdness isn't a bug. It's the feature. Chapter 6. Dreams Across Cultures and History. Dreams aren't just biology, they're cultural. In ancient China, dreams were seen as journeys of the soul. In indigenous cultures, dreams often carried spiritual lessons or warnings. Even today, millions consult dream dictionaries to interpret their visions. Modern science may not endorse mystical interpretations, but it does acknowledge that dreams reflect personal meaning. Your brain draws from your experiences, your fears, your desires. That's why one person dreams of flying as liberation, while another feels terror. Same symbol, different brain wiring. Dreams are the most intimate cinema in the world, written, directed, and acted by you. Chapter 7. The Dangers of Sleep Deprivation. Now here's the darker side. If sleep is when the brain cleans, repairs, and processes emotions, what happens if you cut it short? The results are alarming. Sleep deprivation impairs memory, focus, and decision-making. Emotional control collapses. You become more impulsive and anxious. Toxin buildup increases risk of neurodegenerative disease. Even immune function weakens. One night of bad sleep can cut your natural killer cells by up to 70%. Dr. Walker puts it bluntly: the shorter your sleep, the shorter your life. And dreams. Without them, we lose not just creativity, but resilience. Chapter 8: How to Dream Better. So how do you give your brain the nightly cleaning and therapy it craves? Here are a few evidence-based tips. Keep a regular sleep schedule. Your circadian rhythm thrives on consistency. Limit screens before bed. Blue light tricks your brain into thinking it's daytime. Cool, dark, quiet environment. Your brain drops in temperature to sleep. Help it along. Mindful wind down. Journaling, light stretching, or meditation signals your brain that it's safe to let go. No alcohol or heavy meals late at night. Both interfere with REM cycles. Bonus: keep a dream journal. Not only will it improve recall, but it may help you notice patterns in your subconscious. Chapter 9: The Future of Dream Science. Dream research is still in its infancy, but the future is wild. Scientists are experimenting with lucid dreaming, where you realize you're dreaming and can control the story. Devices now exist that nudge your brain into lucidity, opening the door to creative problem-solving or even nightmare therapy. Others are studying dream engineering, using sound, smell, or even electrical stimulation to shape dream content. Imagine learning a language or overcoming trauma while you sleep. And AI is even being used to reconstruct dream imagery from brain scans, a glimpse into decoding the last private frontier of human experience. The question isn't just, why do we dream anymore? It's what can we do with our dreams? Conclusion. So here's the truth. Sleep is not wasted time. It's not laziness. It's the most productive thing your brain does. Every night, your mind runs a triple shift: cleaning toxins, consolidating memories, healing emotions, and sparking creativity through dreams. When you neglect sleep, you rob yourself of these miracles. But when you honor it, you give your brain the chance to be its best version. Dreams may never fully surrender their mystery. But one thing is clear: they're not random. They're survival. They're growth. They're the silent architect shaping who you are. So tonight, when you close your eyes, remember, you're not just resting, you're rewiring. And your brain's cleaning crew is clocking in. You're not escaping life when you sleep, you're rebuilding it.